players say higher and lower to go on a dash, all in the hopes of winning lots of cash on Card Shark! And now, here's your host of Card Sharks, Jose Catherine!
Thank you very much, Herd, and welcome in everybody to another exciting episode of Card Sharks right here in the MVT studios. We are so glad to have you here with us tonight. Well, if you've been with us for the first two episodes, then you'll know that we've had a champion who's had a very incredible run. He's got 4 wins in a row, and if he can win this first game tonight, he'll be our first retired champion and guarantee himself a spot in our Tournament of Champions. Coming in with a total of $35,500 in cash, let's welcome back our 4-time champion, Mr. Brandon Hinkle. Welcome back.
Thank you, Jose. It's so good to be here. It's so good to see you, good sir, as usual.
Well, Brandon, let's just say you have a lot at stake here tonight. Because you've done an incredible job. You've taken down 4 worthy opponents up to this point. But if you can take down 1 more, then you're done here and you're going to retire.
That's right.
And we'll be seeing you in the TOC. But do you think you have what it takes to get that final win?
I'll give it my best shot. All I can do. Let's just, as Yu-Gi-Oh would say, it's the heart of the cards.
It couldn't be better said. But Brandon, I wish you nothing but the best of luck, as this game is big for you. Let's meet the challenger who is...
Today's a big day for me.
Yep, let's meet the challenger who is looking to stop you. His first time on the show, we welcome him in, Mr. Chris Rahaman. Glad to have you here with us, Chris. Why don't you tell the good folks here a little bit about yourself?
About to be 22, YouTuber, college student, love game shows and reality shows, and that's about it.
Alright, well, like I said, you're up against the 4-time champion here in Brandon Hinkle. Do you think you'll be able to end his run?
I'd say it's about 50-50, so let's just see what happens.
Alright, well, let's as you said, like you said, let's see what happens. I wish both of you nothing but the best of luck.
Thank you.
Now, of course, you know how this game works. The object is to make it all the way to the end of the board by correctly calling high or low without making a single mistake, and if you do that, you win the round. It takes 2 round wins to win a match, and go on to the money cards where you can win potentially up to $32,000. So, with that being said, let's get started with our first round of play, and our first high-low toss-up question. You gotta get one of these in order to get control of the cards. Brandon, this first question goes to you. Good luck to you both. Alright, Brandon, we asked 100 teenagers. Can social media be as bad for you as a drug or an alcohol addiction? How many of those said yes?
I'll say that's around about a middle-ish number. I'll say around about 45.
Alright, he says 45 out of 100 think that it's just as bad as a drug or alcohol addiction. Chris, higher or lower than 45?
I mean, social media itself, for teens in general, does have their pros and cons, obviously. It could be helpful if you're responsible, know what you're doing. Let's say a slight bit higher.
Alright, he says higher than that. Alright, if the actual answer is higher, Chris, you'll get control of the cards first. If not, it'll be Brandon. The actual number of teenagers who believe that social media can be as bad for you as a drug or an alcohol addiction is 36. It is not higher.
Wow.
Alright, so our champion Brandon gets control of the cards first. Let's go ahead and reveal your opening base card. You start off with a 7. Now, you won the question, so you of course know that you have the right to change it if you so wish.
That's a bad card. Let's change it, please.
Alright, the 7 goes away, and we replace it with an ace!
Oh.
Bola!
Going lower than the ace, it's a 4.
Fire!
Going on, higher than a 4? No, it's another 4!
Wow.
You lose those 2 cards, you go back to the ace, and that gives Chris a free chance to play off his base card of a 9. Now, you did not win the question, so you have to play it.
Oh, good to know. Let's say go with the odds and say lower.
Going with the odds lower than a 9, it's a 3.
Higher.
Going on higher than the 3, it's a king.
Lower.
Continuing on, lower than the king, it's an 8.
I'm freezing right there, please.
And just like that, Chris only needs 1 card to win the first round of the game. And with that said, we go on to our second question of the round, and this one goes to Chris.
Okay. Hit me.
Alright, here we go, Chris. This is a big one, so pay attention.
I'm listening.
We asked 100 people, if your friends asked you to care for their pet hamster while they were away and your cat ate him, would you tell your friends the truth or buy a new hamster and keep quiet? Now, let me ask it again. We asked 100 people, if your friends ask you to care for their pet hamster while they're away and your cat ate him, would you tell your friends the truth or buy a new hamster and keep quiet? How many out of those said that they would buy a new hamster and keep quiet?
Well, this question just got dark really quick. Okay. I could see this goes one or two ways. I could see this goes one or two ways. Yes, buy the hamster, but I think the friend will probably find out later on that it's fake and probably interrogate, or just come clean with it. As far as buying a new hamster, I'm gonna say about 54.
Alright, he says 54 out of 100 would buy a new one and keep quiet. Brandon, is that higher or lower than 54?
I would say that's lower than that, please.
Even lower than that. Alright, let's find out. The actual number of people who, if their cat ate their friend's pet hamster while they're away and they would lie about it, is 59. It is not lower.
Wow.
Alright, so Chris, you have control. You have that 8, and you can change it.
Toss it. Toss it, please. Toss that 8 out the window, please.
Alright, the 8 goes away, and we replace it with a queen.
Lower, please.
For game number 1 and $1,000, lower than the queen, it's a 5. He's got it. And Chris up 1-0 already. Now, Brandon, I believe you've had deficits like this before, and you have come back from them. So don't count yourself out yet.
Yep.
With that being said, Chris, you've got yourself $1,000 no matter what happens in the rest of the game.
Mm-hmm.
But let's go ahead and set up for our second round. Now, of course, Brandon, you need this one to take us to a tiebreaker. Chris, if you win this one, you become the new champion.
Right.
All right, so our first question of our second round goes to our challenger. So, Chris, this one goes to you.
Okie doke.
Chris, we asked 100 police officers, do you ever feel guilty about giving a traffic ticket? How many of those police officers said they did feel guilty?
That one's very interesting because I think there will be some officers that would feel guilty about giving a traffic ticket, especially those who they're stopping is like very nice and polite, and you have that guilt of giving them a ticket because that's your job. That's their job at the end of the day. So, with this, I would say about 60.
All right, he says 60 out of 100 police officers do feel guilty about giving a traffic ticket. Brandon, is that higher or lower than 60?
I think that should be just a midget lower. Just a midget.
All right, it's just a little bit lower than that. Alright, the actual number of police officers who do feel guilty about giving a traffic ticket is 29. It's way lower.
Whoa! I thought it'd be a little lower, but not expecting that lower.
Yeah, you gotta remember, it's their job, so feelings don't necessarily matter in that regard.
Exactly.
But I digress. Anyways, Brandon, you've got the question, so you want it, so you have control. Let's take a look at your base card. You have a 4.
It's a beautiful card. Let's go up. Higher.
Going higher than the 4, it's a 6.
Higher.
Playing on, higher than the 6. No, it's a 3, and you go right back to the 4. Losing those 2 cards, and that means Chris gets a free chance to play off a 4 as well.
Oh, what? Oh, both of us got 4s. Higher.
Higher than the 4, it's a queen.
Lower.
Lower than the queen. No, it's an ace. Oh my goodness, both players trying and nobody makes any progress. As we go on to our second question of the round, and it goes to you, Brandon. Alright, here we go. Brandon, we asked 100 people, have you ever spent the night in a sleeping bag? How many people said yes?
Okay, I think I know I have been one of them, so I think that should be a high number. I'll say round about 65.
Alright, he says 65 out of 100 people have spent the night in a sleeping bag. Chris, higher or lower than 65?
I think it depends on where you sleeping with the sleeping bag, either sleepover or camping sometimes. Let's say that number is a smidge bit lower.
Alright, he says lower. Alright. The actual number of people who have ever spent the night in a sleeping bag is 74. It is not lower. Brandon, you were in the ballpark there, but you did win the question, and you have that 4.
Let's go higher.
Trying it again. Higher than a 4. It's a 9.
Freeze!
And freezing right there at the 9, keeping Chris away from his cards and giving himself a 1-card lead. Now we go to our third question of the round, and Chris, we go back to you for this next one.
Hit me.
Wow. This one may be a little evil here. Chris,
Oh,
we
no.
asked 100 single women, have you ever given someone a fake phone number? How many said that they had?
First of all, what was the reason you give a fake phone number for? What are the things of that? I would say it would be I would say to be evil and personally avoid the person. Then your significant other would probably think you're cheating. Anyways, I'm babbling on. Let's say about 53.
All right, he says 53 out of 100 have ever given someone a fake phone number. Brandon, higher or lower than 53?
I think that's higher than that.
All right, he says higher than that. All right, the actual number of single women who have ever given someone a fake phone number is 35. It is not higher.
Wow.
Then again, there are some evil people out there.
Yeah, maybe that's why they do it. But again, I digress. And Chris, you won the question, so you have control, and you have that 4.
Let's try again with higher.
Hoping it works out this time. Higher than a 4, and it's a 9.
Yeah. God, why me? Why me? Why this? Okay, let's try lower.
He's playing it lower than the 9. No, it's another 9. You lose those 2 cards. You go back to the 4. And Brandon, you get a free chance at that 9.
Let's go lower.
Going lower than the 9. No, it's a jack.
Whoa.
And nobody making any progress.
We've been cursed.
As we now go to our 4th and final question of the round. It is sudden death, so that means somebody has to win on this next play of the cards. And Brandon, the question goes to you.
Okay.
This is crucial given how close it is at the moment. Alright. Brandon, we asked 100 single straight women. Again, this is 100 single straight women.
Okay.
Would you date a guy who wore Ugg boots? How many said that they would?
What is Ugg boots?
Yeah, I'm wondering that too.
Well, basically what those Ugg... They're boots, obviously, but... Essentially, they're like these, I don't know how to explain it, but I think what Ugg boots are like these boots with like fur in the inside.
Okay. Makes sense.
Interesting.
They're basically soft boots that are made of fur, essentially.
Okay. I'll say that's about maybe kind of a medium number. I'll say that's probably about 38.
38, you said?
Yes, sir. 38.
Alright, he says 38 out of 100 would date a guy who wore Ugg boots. Chris, higher or lower than 38?
Given the definition, it sounds like it would be something that someone would probably wear in a colder state. Someone who lives in a colder state. Let's say a slight bit higher.
Alright, he says higher than that. Alright. For all important control of the cards, the actual number of single straight women who would date a guy who wore Ugg boots is 39! It is slightly higher.
You were close.
Ah, Brandon, you missed it by 1 there.
Yep.
But anyways, Chris, you won the question, so you have the decision. Now let me lay out the scenario here. You have a 4. You, of course, won the question, so you know that you can change it if you so wish. However, you would have to run through the entire board. Make even 1 mistake, and we have a tie game.
Right.
However, you can force control over to Brandon. He would have to play off the 9, which he cannot change, and he would have to go through 3 cards. And if he makes even 1 mistake, you become the new champion. With that being said, Chris, what are you gonna do?
What my luck's being pretty bad, and probably I'm gonna see another 9 if I play this. I don't think I can take this. I'm sorry, but Brandon, good luck.
Alright, Brandon, he's passing control over to you. You have that 9 that you cannot change. You have to run through all 3 of these cards. And if you make even 1 mistake, Chris is our new champion.
Okay. I'm gonna say... Lower.
This is a big decision here. To keep his championship alive, lower than a 9. It's a deuce.
Oh.
Higher.
Higher than a 2. It's an ace.
Lower.
To keep his championship hopes alive and to tie it up, lower than the ace. It's a queen. He's done it. Oh my goodness. Oh man, that was nerve-wracking there. But Brandon, well done. You played it. You played the odds. It worked out in your favor, and just like that, you picked up another $1,000, and we have a tie game. When we add that $1,000 to your total, you now go up to $36,500. With that being said, we have a tie game, and that means we got to decide a winner through a tiebreaker round. So let's get the board ready for that round right now. 3 cards and only 1 question to determine a champion. Brandon, the question goes to you.
Okay.
Here it is. Brandon, we asked 100 sports fans. Did you participate in a fantasy football league last season? How many of those sports fans said that they had?
I'll say probably about 50.
No.
Oh, he's not going easy on you, Chris. He's going right up the middle with 50. Higher or lower than the middle?
Hinkle, I want to know. Hinkle, I question your motive for that. I'll go with higher, I guess.
Alright, he says higher than that. Alright, for all important control of the cards here, the actual number of sports fans who have participated in a fantasy football league last season is 43. It is not higher. Alright. Now, Brandon, you won the question, so the decision is yours. I'm going to start you off by showing both of your base cards.
Okay.
Chris has a 5.
Okay.
And you have a 7.
Ooh.
Now, you of course won the question, so you do have the option to change it, and you would have to go through these 2 cards, and if you make even one mistake, Chris wins. However, you can pass it to Chris, he has to play off the 5, and if he screws up 1, you win.
Okay.
This might be the biggest decision you'll ever have to make in your championship run.
So is.
What is it gonna be?
Chris has a 5. You know what, Jose? I'm gonna go for it. I'm gonna change that yucky card, please.
Alright, Brandon, I wish you the best of luck. He's taking matters into his own hands. He's getting rid of the 7, and all important change here. The 7 becomes a 5.
Oh,
Okay. Just whatever happens, it was a good game either way. Higher.
Higher than a 5? No, it's a 5! Chris is the new champion! Congratulations, Chris. You picked up another $1,000 and you are a new champion with $2,000. You're going to go on to the money cards in just a moment.
Whoa.
Brandon, I am so sorry. You had a valiant run there over the last 2 episodes and now, but unfortunately, those cards decided that of all the games you played, it was this one where they decided to tell you to screw off.
I know, right? How dare they?
But like you said, it's all in the heart of the cards at the start of the game, but you have no means to be ashamed, sir. You've had an incredible run. You've picked up 4 wins in a row, and you are comfortably sitting at the top of our leaderboard with a final total of $36,500.
Hey, that's not too bad.
But Brandon, it was an honor having you here over these last few episodes. We hope you've had a blast, and hopefully we look forward to having you back on a future show.
I will.
But give it
Good
up.
luck in the bonus round.
But that is Brandon Hinkle, an incredible champion, everyone. And Chris, you've done it.
Yep.
By the skin of your teeth, you were able to hang on there. You picked up $2,000, and you're going to be going to the money cards. But before we go to our commercial break here, had Brandon passed, what would you have done?
Well, considering I couldn't change it, and I wanted to change it anyway, I would have went with higher.
Oh my goodness!
What is this?
That is the craziest setup I think I've ever seen. It was set up for their opponent to win.
Whoa.
Oh, wow. And just for S's and giggles, there are the other 2 cards, an 8 and a 6, but man, the fact that there were duplicate cards at the very beginning there goes to show you how crazy these cards can be at times. But
Very crazy.
with that being said, Chris, you have won the game, and we're going to take a quick commercial break, but when we come back, you're going to be playing the money cards for the very first time. So don't go anywhere, everybody. We'll be right back with more Card Sharks right after this. Stay with us. Welcome back to Card Sharks. We are here with our new champion, Chris Rahaman, who, by the skin of his teeth, was able to pick up the win and defeat a 4-time champion in Brandon Hinkle. Chris, let's just be honest. Did you think you were going to be able to pull off the win?
Honestly, I'll be honest. Honestly, I thought Brandon was probably gonna win with with the 5, but considering it would have probably gone either way with duplicates, I'm like, what is happening? First to 9 curves in this.
Well, either way, it worked out in your favor, and it's time to see if we can add a whole lot more money into that total.
Let's do this thing.
All right, let's go to the money cards. All right. Now, Chris says, we're going to start you off at the bottom row with $200, and you have to call high-low correctly, making your way across those 3 cards. Bet as you wish. Then we move you up to the second row and give you another $400 of betting money and make your way across those 3 cards afterwards. Minimum bets are $50 until you get to the big bet, which there you have to bet at least half of your money. And of course, you know that we have 3 spare cards on the left side of the board. You can change 1 card per row. And if you're able to make a perfect run, risking everything every single time and calling it correctly, that's $32,000 going into your pocket. With that being said, let's go ahead and get everything set up here. Give you $200 worth of betting money. And let's take a look at your opening base card. We start with a king.
Okay, good card. Let's go all of it lower.
All $200. Lower than the king, it's an 8. You have $400 and an 8.
May I change it, please?
Sure, which card would you like to change it with?
2.
Alright, so the 8 goes away and we replace it with a 9. Not much better.
Evil card. Evil! Anyways, $50 lower.
Alright, go in the minimum bet. Lower than the 9, it's a 5. You have $450 and a 5.
All of it higher?
It's playing risky. All $450. Higher than the 5, it's a 10. You have $900, but now we move you out to the second row, give you another $400 of betting money. You have $1,300 and a 10 that you can change.
Okay. Why don't we try 1,000 lower?
Alright, keeping it going, $1,000.
What?
Going lower than the 10, it's a 7. $2,300 and a 7.
Change it with number 3.
Alright, the 7 goes away, and we replace it with a 6. A little better.
Wow, that's... I'll do $500 higher.
Alright, going $500. You said higher?
Correct.
$500 higher than the 6? No, but it's a deuce. You have $1,800 and a 2.
Can't lose with this one, all of it higher.
Nope, you cannot. The worst you can do is push. $1,800 higher than the 2? It's a 6. Alright, Chris, you have $3,600. We move that 6 up to the top row. You must bet at least $1,800, and you can bet more, and you can change it.
Which I will do, please.
Alright, an all-important change here. The 6 goes away, and we replace it with a 5. Again, $1,800 is the minimum. You can bet more. What is your big bet on this 5?
Let's say all of it higher.
Alright, he's going all of it. So, Chris, you will have either absolutely nothing or $7,200. If this card is higher than a 5, it's a jack. He's got it. $7,200. We add that $7,200 to the $2,000 that you picked up in the main game, Chris. You now move up to $9,200. And when we come back after this commercial break, you're going to be taking on your next opponent as you try to go for win number 2.
As I'm dreading it.
And folks at home, you hear him laughing out there. You guys, I'm sure you have a good idea of who it is, but we'll take our commercial break. We'll bring him in here right after this. Stay with us. Welcome back, everybody, to Card Sharks. Chris has had a very good round of the money cards, picking up $7,200. Currently sits at $9,200 and one win for himself. So, Chris, you're our brand new champion, but are you ready to meet your next challengers and go for win number 2?
I'm dreading this already.
Well, you heard him before the commercial break. He's known as the street killer on some occasions. We love him dearly. Nell Snesrud.
Hello, look, my people.
What people?
And no booing section. I love this. Yes.
You probably shouldn't have said that, because now booing section may be coming soon.
Ooh.
You see what I mean?
Oh, Bergman, no, Bergman, no.
John?
It's all right. It's just one boo and that's it.
Look at it this way. At least it wasn't a long one.
Well, at least it wasn't James doing it, so.
Don't give him ideas.
Well,
anyways, Nell's just go ahead and tell us a little bit about yourself, please.
Let's see. I'm a one-legged midget living under a bridge. Oh wait, no, I'm a cashier at Target.
Oh my god.
In my spare time, I like to make bracelets and bowl. So,
man, I am regretting asking him that now. Man. But anyways,
that was your fault, Jose.
well, yeah, I know I brought that upon myself, but
Yeah.
this isn't about me. For now, this is about you. Do you think you'll be able to take down Chris over here?
Oh, without a doubt.
Deep dreaming.
All right. Well, he's confident about it.
Okay, Rob. Okay.
Wow. Okay. Let's stop the emotional damage and move on with our game. Nels, I wish you the best of luck.
You?
And my goodness, this is gonna get hectic. This is gonna be a good game, though. Let's go ahead and get started with our first round and our first question, which goes to our champion, Chris.
Oh.
Hit me.
All right, Chris, here we go.
Okay, you all right?
I wasn't speaking to you.
We asked 100 teenagers if your dad sent you a friend request on Facebook, would you accept it? How many said that they would?
Honestly, I mean, I don't know if Facebook is so common nowadays, but I could see one or two. I think either A, they would for monitoring purposes, or B, they probably won't. This one I'm gonna go middle-ish and say 52.
All right, he says 52 out of 100 would accept their friend request from their father. Nels, higher or lower than 52?
Oh, you give me 2? Oh, you dirty little. I'm gonna say that's a little bit higher.
All right, higher than that. All right, if it is higher,
Yeah.
Nels, you of course are going to go to the cards first. If not, it'll be Chris. The actual number of teenagers who, if their dad sent them a friend request on Facebook, they would accept it is 72. It is higher. Which makes me question them altogether, but we're not talking about that right now.
Yeah.
But Nels, you got control of the cards first. Let's take a look at your opening base card. You start with a 10. Now, of course, you won the question, so you know you have the right to change it.
Get rid of that 10, please. Give it to Chris.
I can't give it to him, but
Dang it. Okay.
we can get rid of it and give you a jack.
Oh, excellent. Lower, please.
Go lower than the jack. It's a 5.
Great. Another 5. Higher than the 5, please.
Going higher than the 5. Oh no, it's a 4.
Watch him get a 10.
And the 5 curse that has been happening all episode just continues to strike. And
Yeah.
Chris, you get a free chance with your base card of a 3.
Damn it.
Now, you didn't win the question, so you cannot change it, but I don't think you'd want to.
It's a good card, so I'm gonna say higher.
Going higher than 3, it's a king.
Lower, please.
Going on, lower than the king. It's a 6.
Freeze right there, please.
All right, freezing at the 6, needing only 2 cards to pick up the first round of the match. And we now go to our second question of the round, which goes to Nels.
Hi.
All right, Nels, we asked 100 third graders. Listen to the question. We asked 100 third graders, do you get an allowance from your parents? How many said that they do?
I think that's a medium number. I'm gonna say 64.
Ooh, that's a good
All right, he says 64 out of 100 do get an allowance. Chris, higher or lower than 64?
Well, I could see this happening. I mean, there's now teenagers nowadays who are expecting allowance even into adulthood. Let that sink in for a moment. I'm gonna say just a tiny bit lower.
All right, so it's a little bit lower than that. All right, the actual number of third graders who get an allowance from their parents is 69.
Oh my god! You know how pissed I am right now? I almost said 69. I almost said it.
Well, while you potentially missed out on an exacta there, Nels, you did win the question.
Yeah,
So it's obviously not lower. And Nels, you have that jack.
I'm going to keep it and go lower than the jack, please.
Keeping the jack going lower, it's a 6.
Higher than the 6, please.
Playing it going higher than the 6, it's a jack.
I'll go lower than the jack, please.
Continuing on, lower than the jack. No, it's another jack, and you go all the way back to the beginning, and that means that Chris gets a free chance at the 6.
What is this now? Curse? Hope this works out higher.
Going higher than the 6, it's a 9.
I'm not gonna say it, but I'm just gonna freeze.
Freezing it there. All right, needing only 1 card to win the first round. And with that, we now go to our third question of the round. And Chris, this one goes to you.
Hit me.
Wow, this is the next one that came up, huh? Okay.
What is this?
Chris, we asked 100 divorced men. Again, this is 100 divorced men.
Right, go ahead.
Are you a good listener? How many of those divorced men say that they are?
Depending on what kind of listener they're talking about. Wow, that's a good one. 60.
All right, he says 60 out of 100 divorced men believe that they are good listeners. Nels, higher or lower than 60?
Oh, Chris, you dirty, dirty boy, you.
I don't.
You may. I'm gonna say lower.
He says lower than that. All right, the actual number of divorced men who believe that they are good listeners is 91.
What?
Well, you gotta keep in keep in mind that this is in the mentality of the men themselves.
True.
Not
But still, if they were good listeners, then why are they divorced?
yeah, I question this one myself, but
Yeah.
that's statistics for you.
I hope
But
he gets an 8.
even after they get divorced, they still think that that they can still listen very well. But I digress. So obviously it is not lower. So Chris, you have control. You have that 9, and you can change it.
Which I will do, please.
I hope it's an 8.
All right, the 9 goes away. We replace it with a 10.
A little better at the slight technicality. Let's say lower.
No.
All right, to take game number 1, pick up $1,000 and go up 1-0. You said lower?
Yes.
Lower than the 10? It's a 3. He's done it! All right, Chris, so congratulations. You picked up another $1,000 for winning this round. And with this round win, you now go up to 5 figures because you're now at $10,200.
That's nice.
That's all he's getting.
However, you still need to win one more to pick up your second win. So we're gonna get right into our second round and set up the board. Alright, our first question in the second round goes to our challengers. So Nels, this one's for you.
Okay. I'm not playing Mr. Nice Guy anymore.
We'll find out.
Oh, you'll see.
Alright, well Nels, we asked 100 women. Okay, this is a good one. We asked 100 women, have you ever paid more than $200 for a purse? How many of those women said that they had?
What are you gonna do? I question
50 right in the middle. Make you work for it.
Godly.
Well, he wasn't kidding. He's going right at the middle with this one, Chris. Higher or lower than 50?
Now, this question reminds me of a little Dr. Phil brat, but I'm not getting into that. I'll say higher.
Alright, he's going higher than that. Alright, let's find out. The actual number of women who have ever paid more than $200 for a purse is 31. It is not higher. Yeah, not many women have that kind of money just to throw at a single purse. You got to think about that. But
My strategy
not talking about that right now. Nels, you've got control of the cards, and we're gonna start you off with your base card. You have a 9.
Oh yeah, I would like to change it and give it to Chris when he has to turn a card.
You better.
Well, we'll find out if he gets it. Well, you don't want to find out, but anyways,
Well,
the 9 goes away. We replace it with a deuce.
higher, please.
Going
Yes.
higher than the deuce, it's a queen.
Lower than the queen, please.
Going lower than that queen, it's a 7.
And I would like to freeze that right there, please.
All right, so Nels freezes the 7, keeps Chris away from his cards, and only needs 2 more to tie it up. All right, but we now go to our second question of this round, and Chris, it goes to you.
Oh, great.
Chris, we asked 100 single people. Man, this is asking about relationship statuses a lot.
Yeah.
All right, here it is.
What? No.
We asked 100 single people. Would you marry someone if you didn't like their parents? How many said that they would?
That's kind of debatable, honestly. Oh my gosh. Hit me with those kind of questions. But then again, there are parents out there that are probably not like the spouse for inconsiderate reasons. I'll say about 55.
55 out of 100 would marry someone if they didn't like their parents. Nels, is that higher or lower than 55?
I'm going to say that's a smidge higher.
Alright, he says even higher than that. Alright, the actual number of single people who would marry someone if they didn't like their parents is 74. It is higher.
Yes. Okay.
Alright.
Change?
I think they
Oh.
I think they probably would marry someone if they didn't like their parents just to get the significant other away from them. But anyways, now Nels, you have control and you have that 7.
Yeah, I would like to get rid of that 7 and again give it to Chris if possible.
Well, again, that can't happen. But
I know.
But the 7 goes away and we can give you a king.
Lower, please.
Going lower than the king, it's a deuce.
Higher.
For $1,000 and to tie up the match and send us to another tiebreaker higher than the deuce, it's a queen. We have a tie game. Woo! My goodness.
No one puts Nelson in a corner.
And Chris never even got to touch his cards at all. With that being said, Nels, congratulations. You do pick up $1,000. of course, that's yours to keep no matter how you do the rest of this game. But with that being said, both of you each have 1 win apiece, so we gotta go once again to a tiebreaker.
Oh, goody.
Now again, 1 question and 3 cards. And Chris, this question goes to you.
Let me have it.
Alright, here it is. We asked 100 teenagers,
Here we go again. Okay.
have you used a landline phone in the past week? How many of those teenagers said that they had?
A landline phone in the past week, eh? God.
Correct.
Interesting. That's very, very interesting. I mean, nowadays, a lot of them will use their cell phones. I'm gonna go just a mid-low with this one and let's say about 40.
Alright, he says 40 out of 100 have used the landline phone in the past week. Mel's a big decision here, higher or lower than 40?
I'm gonna say higher.
You're going higher?
Yeah.
Alright. For all important control of the cards here,
Oh, come on.
the actual number of teenagers who have used the landline telephone in the past week is 28. It is not higher.
Fudge.
Alright, so Chris, you have the decision. Now, of course, you know I'm going to show you both of your base cards. Nels has a 5.
Let him have a 5.
And
Let him have a 5.
And you have an ace.
Fuck. Oh,
Now, Chris, here's the situation.
Okay.
You have control. You can play it yourself and go through and call these 2 cards correctly, but if you make even 1 mistake, Nels becomes the new champion. But you can, of course, pass it over to Nels. He'd have to call those 2 cards, and if he makes a mistake, you pick up your 2nd win. So what's your decision?
I'm going to play this one, please.
Alright, gonna play it out himself. Now you have that ace. This is a dumb question, but do you want to change it?
No and lower.
I figured as such. Alright, going lower than the ace. It's a queen.
Lower for the win?
Come on.
To pick up his 2nd win, pick up another $1,000 and go back to the money cards. Lower than the queen. It's a 4. He's done it again. Congratulations, Chris. That's your 2nd win in a row. You picked up another $1,000 for that win. You now go up to $11,200, and you're going to go back to the money cards in just a moment. Well, Nels,
what-if game.
Yeah, before we say goodbye to you, let's find out what would have happened. So, had Chris passed to you, what would you have called on the 5?
I knew he wasn't passing. Higher than the 5.
It was a 7.
Great. Let's go higher for shiggles.
And you would have had it, so it was set up for either one of you to win, whoever had it.
I knew he wasn't passing me with that 8. I knew he wasn't passing.
Well, either way, Nels, you did win 1 round, so we're going to let you keep the $1,000 that you did pick up in this game. But I can bet money that we will be having you back on a future show.
Oh, yeah, I'll be back.
Alright, well, that is Nel Snezra, everyone, and when we come back, our now 2-time champion, Chris Rahman, is going to go back to the money cards to see how much he can add to that total. We'll be right back after this. Stay with us. Welcome back to Card Sharks. We're here with our now 2-time champion, Chris Rahman. Took down a worthy opponent in Nel Snezrud. Picked up you have now $11,200 in 2 wins. But Chris, you ready to add a whole lot more money to that?
Yes, sir.
All right, let's go back to the money cards then. Now, I've already explained to you how this works, so you're very familiar with it. We're just going to get right into it. Here's your $200 of betting money, and let's take a look at your opening base card. We start you off with a king.
Huh, same card I started with last time I played. All of it lower.
All right, going all $200 lower than the king. It's a 10. You have $400 and a 10.
All of it lower?
He's playing it. Okay. All $400. Lower than the 10? No, it's a jack. So you go down to 0, but we move that jack up to the second row. We give you the $400 right back. You have $400 and that jack.
All of it lower?
He's playing all of it again. $400. Lower than the jack? No, it's an ace! I am sorry, Chris. You don't win a thing.
Oh my god.
And I hate to say this, Chris, but you are now officially the first champion to bust on the money cards and not pick up a single cent. But Chris, you still have $11,200 and you have 2 wins. And wow, that was a quick round here on the money cards, but Chris making some interesting decisions to say the least, but at the end he just couldn't pick up anything. But you're still the champion, and that's going to do it for us here on Card Sharks. Thank you so much for joining us. We'll definitely be seeing Chris next time as he goes for his next potentially 2 wins. But until that time happens and the cards come shuffling our way once again, I'm your host, Jose Casades, signing off, saying thank you for joining us, and we'll see you next time for more of Card Sharks. Good night, everybody.